Living with IH part whatever. I'm Marlena. So, where the hell have I been? The last week, I went to the doctor 3 times in a week, trying to figure out what the fuck am I going to do? Am I getting this stent? Also, I should have filmed this video last week because I had a great, my haircut is still great, but my hair grows so fast. I had lines. Do you see this? These lines are gone. My hair grows, they're still there, but my hair grows significantly. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. So, last time we talked about this stent, wasn't getting one because of my nickel and cobalt allergies. I spent the last week visiting my parents to get some second opinions because I had seen providers in their state getting second opinions a while ago. Those providers were like, yo, you don't have IIH. But I still had a neurosurgery referral from there. And I also had an appointment set up to see the neuro-otologist for my superior canal dehiscence syndrome, something we will come back to in a later video. Keep saying this and never do it, but we will. And I said, you know what? Let me set up a neurosurgery appointment to see maybe this neurosurgeon has combed the internet for something that I haven't. Because I was all out of ideas. My neurosurgeon in where I'm at, my neurosurgeon is fantastic. Like, don't get me wrong. I really like this man. He is working with me. He is fantastic. Trust him. But he hadn't heard of any other alternatives. And he was like, I really don't know. So I wanted to get another opinion, see if maybe a different neurosurgeon might have some other ideas. So I said, let me just go ahead and make this other appointment. Plus, let me go home, visit my parents, because we're fighting for our lives out here, and I need to visit my mama. I need some relief. So, we go see this other neurosurgeon who's like, yeah, your neurosurgeon's great. I would trust him with my life. I would let him operate on me, operate on my family. But I'm also kind of all out of ideas. What you have presented. So last time we talked, I said I had come up with no alternatives for non-nickel, non-cobalt, because those are the two allergies that I have. And he was pretty much like, yeah, you have scoured every corner of the internet. I have also only heard of what you have heard of. Cool. His thought process was, hey, how about you get a stent from a manufacturer, tape it to your wrist, and see if you are allergic. So, as soon as I got out of that appointment, I messaged my doctor about that. And then he said, what about a plan B? And I'm like, what the fuck? Ain't nobody ever told me about a plan B. He said, plan B. He said, this might not work, but let's try it. How about doing a balloon angioplasty? A balloon angioplasty. What the fuck is that? That is where it's typically always done for hearts, but it is where they take a balloon. They use, it's the same process like when you do a cerebral angiogram or the stent, where they take a catheter, put it up in your brain, use the balloon to inflate it. Usually they would put the stent in and leave the stent behind. In my case, they would not leave the stent behind. So pretty much they would leave it inflated for a little bit, deflate the balloon, and just see if my vein stays open. But hey, all we can do is see. So pretty much the risk of that is seeing if whether or not my vein would collapse on its own, and like what time would tell. So pretty much I would just, how soon would I go back to feeling like I feel right now? And then, the surgical risks of the procedure and all of that. But it's a plan B. Other doctors that I saw while I was there, I saw a functional medicine doctor. Pause on that. Now, I completely understand why functional medicine is so expensive, because they don't take insurance or anything. But shit. Those flat rates, I'm currently waiting to see about disability because I'm on medical leave. Maybe I don't have cash. So we'll see about that. And that's a functional medicine doctor in my parents' town, not here. So it would just be dealing with the back and forth of all of that. But the functional medicine doctors, that place seemed very lovely. It seemed like getting to the root cause of the issues. I feel like I'm a little further along in this journey in terms of working with inflammation and understanding my body, since I have already taken a lot of the steps to understand, how diet impacts all of these things. I'm eating relatively clean. I make most of my food from scratch because of the low sodium and all of that. So I think for me, I'm in a much different place. So waiting to hear back from them, because I need the neurologist of the practice as opposed to some of the autoimmune folks. And I have rather complex cases. So, yeah. But then I also saw the neuro-otologist because of the superior canal dehiscence syndrome, and all of that is impacted by my IAH, which of course leads us right back to the stent. So everything in my case leads us right back to the stent, which leads us right back to, we need to figure out, am I going to get it? And that is a judgment call. Do I want to put an allergen into my body? And so right now we are going to determine, how do I feel about that? I don't know. So step one is getting a stent from a manufacturer. My neurosurgeon, he had one in the office, so we're going to get two of them. He had one that was nitinol, which is nickel and titanium, and then he's going to get one that is cobalt chromium. So we're going to tape the nickel one first, going to tape it onto my arm, see how that goes, see how, if I react to that, and then next week we're going to tape the cobalt chromium one. And yeah, I guess we'll see. And then we'll proceed from there, see whether or not I'm gonna go ahead and do this stent surgery.